Good afternoon. It's afternoon on Sunday. It's extremely windy. However, I've decided to come out and try and get some of the bulbs planted because in addition to planting the bluebells into new pots, I also went to Amazon and purchased myself some more bulbs which are already sprouting, as you can see. So I need to get them planted before it's too late. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. I am thinking of where to plant them. I'm not quite sure, but I'm going to use small pots for all the flowers because then you can move them about to pretty them up rather than actually putting them in a fixed place. Apart from this is definitely going to work as a pot for the bluebells. I've got you quite low down because it's quite windy and I don't wish to what's the word, end up with problems. Soil is not frozen, well some of it is, but not all of it. Once again, I've got the mossy stuff. Okay guys, I swear this has been hellish. I tried to record this, but as usual the wind stopped everything, so I'm just going to get on, do a time lapse and show you what I did to the north garden. I'm calling it the north garden because I love the idea of being able to divide what I do, and so here we go. We're on time lapse. It's a long time lapse, but it makes it fun because in total I was out there for nearly an hour and a half, but all you get is about 10 minutes of me clearing and tidying and putting in the bulbs. It was long-winded. I was tired by the end, but it was still nice to be able to go out. Hopefully soon the weather is going to improve and we will be able to have a much better time when we're out there. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera because I kept adjusting what I was doing with it, but here we go. Enjoy. Now, I've never actually planted any flowers before. I can't remember the last time I tried to plant flowers. The last time I tried to plant flowers, I think they were oxeye daisies, and I did not realize that oxeye daisies are weeds which will try and take over the whole lawn. So I put them in the ground and then struggled to get them out. So here I'm planting everything in pots. That way, if it's a weed, it will not take over. But these are just daffodils and other similar flowers. So hopefully they will be fine. It was a bit tedious for me because I wasn't sure I knew what I was doing, but I'm hoping that I've planted them deep enough and therefore they will all come out nice and easy. It was a bit back-breaking despite the fact that I was kneeling down. I think next time when I'm doing this, I'll make sure that I actually sit nicely because it's exhausting. once I started, I decided to carry on because I still had a few bulbs left and I did not want to leave them. So I decided to use one of my other pots. My sister-in-law gave me this plant. I have no clue what its name is, but it's got beautiful flowers. So what I did is I cut off the top of it because it's also a bulb. And then what I was doing there was getting in a few bulbs around the edge of the main plant, which is in the center, so that it will create lovely vistas in the spring when everything starts to show its face. My hope is that this north facing garden will be pretty because in the summer, well, in the spring to summer, my husband and I tend to sit here and have a coffee because the sun starts off here in the morning, and it is wonderful to be able to have a nice cup of coffee and chat before we go off to work. So I am hoping that by then this whole space will be clean and tidy. As you can see, there is a lot of rubbish, but I can guarantee you the plan is to have it looking beautiful and tidy by the time summer comes round, spring and summer comes round. So I've got a month to do this, and it will be my downtime when I'm not busy doing essays and studying. Right, now that I'd finished that, I decided to then use those baskets which hung up there. I was supposed to be using them for herbs, but I thought, why not just put some flowers in them as well? So I still had more bulbs left. There were loads of bulbs. I don't even know how many bulbs I ordered, but there were quite a few. So I decided to use these as well to get some more brightness in this area, which gets a bit of sun in the morning and then gets a very little bit of sun late in the afternoon, evening time. So we want a bit of brightness that will make us smile, because we tend to use this route when we're coming back from work. So it will be nice when it's all nice and tidy again. In the winter, I don't bother because, as I said before, I have a lot of moss that falls from the roof. So it's no use me cleaning it, because I clean it on one day and then the next day it's back again. But hopefully, once summer starts, the moss doesn't grow so much, and then I'll clean and tidy everything, ready for the fantastic season. At the time I was doing this, it felt like it was never ending. But I know that once these are in, I won't ever have to plant them again. If they come up, they come up. If they don't, they don't. But I'm sure they will come up. And so every spring we will have flowers without any further effort from me. It's hard enough doing the growing this year because of the fact that I'm studying. So I'm going to follow the Charles Dowding method and start all my sowings later and plan everything as well as I can do. Hopefully in the future I'm going to be bringing out a video based on another YouTuber, that girl that grows. She did an excellent plan idea. She has an excellent idea for how to plan out your growing season. So I'm going to try and use that in order that I can actually have a better plan, a simple plan, which won't require a lot of work from me, because right up until the end of this year I am going to be studying. So I carried on with cleaning, tidying, and sorting out some of the pots. Those are all tiny pots, so I'll have to think what is suitable to grow in there. I put in the onions, which had decided that they wanted to grow, so I was prepping the bed for them. So what I did is I just uprooted all the weeds, covered the small pot with a bit of cardboard to suppress those weeds underneath, add some soil to it, and actually, do you know what? I think these were the bulbs. I was adding more bulbs to that, wasn't I? Yeah. Was I adding more bulbs? I have no idea. Let's see what I do. Yep, it is more bulbs. I think there were about 150 bulbs in that box at the rate I'm going. I have no clue how many there were. I just know that they were very cheap, and I decided that, you know what, Stella, if you're going to be doing flowers, you may as well get something cheap, something safe. So if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I do have a few others that I'm going to put in the ground in March. Those ones I love so much that I really do hope they'll work out. So yes, I had run out of bulbs then, which was a relief because it felt like it had been going on forever. I'm not even sure whether or not these bulbs were planted deep enough, but it will have to do because I was tired by this time and all I wanted to do was to finish that and stop. But if you've seen any of my other videos, you know that even when I want to stop, I do not know how to stop. So what I was doing is I was topping all the pots that have completed prepping with some wood chip in order to suppress weeds, but to also deter critters from trying to come and actually get my bulbs out to eat. So there I decided that I may as well just try and prep another bed in order that I can put those onions in, because I've got some onions left over from my harvest last year and they seem to be wanting to grow. So here I'm just trying to prep another pot so I can put the onions in, and so it will be a mix of flowers as well as edible plants. So these onions all went in there. If they decide that they're going to germinate, they will germinate because they've actually got roots. They were all rooting within that container. So I decided to put them in there and see how they do. So hopefully we'll have a few extra onions at the end of the season. as you can see, since I was in flow motion, I had hit flow by then. I don't know if you've read a book called Flow, The Theory of Flow, I think it's called. It's a book I want to read, but I decided that I was going to try and tidy a bit more of the pots and cover them up so that everything in there can die, and when I start to grow in them, I'll just make holes in the cardboard to actually put them in. I was taking this pot to sit it on top because I was worried that the cardboard might fly away because it remained quite windy, and I did not want to have any problems with cardboard flying anywhere. So I tackled the other pot as well. Those were spring onions that were never harvested by anyone, and by the time my daughter decided to harvest them, they were too full of slugs. So I think lesson learned. I need to make sure that when I plant stuff, I also know when they're meant to be harvested. That's one of the key problems I have, is I never keep track, but this year that's one of the things I hope to do better, is to keep track of harvest dates and sow dates so that everything will be utilized when it's at its best. So I'm just going to carry on with this now, and I think I'm nearly done, aren't I? It's time to rest because I've already done some riding this morning, so if I overdo it, I'll be exhausted, and then I won't be doing anything for quite a long while. A little or nothing is better than too much and exhaustion. Thank you so much. Bye. See ya. Hope you will do better next time. Ciao.